swear the challenge. Your battle's already won. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Listen, y'all. See, God writes the end. Deep from the story began. Oh, he told me to tell you the best is yet to come. As the author of your faith, he wrote a provision for you to win. You're a winner. You're a winner. It's yet to come. You ain't seen your best days yet. You ain't seen your best days yet. You ain't seen your best days yet. I don't care what people told you. You ain't seen no. You ain't seen your best days. Oh, Lord. My. You ain't seen your best days yet. Stay in the faith, my sister. You ain't seen your best days yet. Stay in the word, my brother, my brother, my brother, my brother. You ain't seen your best days. Question no one. Once you deposit this word in your heart, you ain't seen your best days yet. No, 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 it's not too late for you to start. I want to encourage you. I just want to encourage you. You ain't seen your best day yet. You ain't seen your best days yet. Get away from negative words. Get away from negative people. Hear God speak to you. The blast. The blast. The blast. Did you hear me? It's greater. It's stronger. It's gonna come.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Dr. Lorenza D. Smith, the host of Talking Sports Plus. And we're so excited to come before you again on this Wednesday. And it's every Wednesday at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. We'll be coming live on Blog Talk Radio. But this is all like our introduction, our kickoff show that we have every Wednesday, Friday, as well as Monday before the shows that we have. It is a pleasure because this is Wonderful Wednesday. And we have some very hot topics. Now, some people might say hump day. It's fine to say hump day. Hump day to get you closer to the weekend. And it's going to be exciting because this will be the first weekend. We'll start with high school football in certain areas in the southeastern part of the United States, as well as college football. Start off on Saturday, especially in Montgomery, Alabama. We'll have the Guardian FCS Kickoff Classic in Montgomery, Alabama, at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time between Jacksonville State and North Carolina A&T. All right, let's kind of get this thing really started up real well. We wanted to mention that because that's sort of like getting us started tonight. You know, Talking Sports Plus is always about the voice of the historical black colleges and universities, the high schools, and middle school athletics in the southeastern part of the United States. You question why? Because we're giving those institutions an opportunity to share thoughts. If you're from a historical black college and university, high school or middle school in the southeastern part of the United States, you are to call in the Talking Sports Plus. Our call-in number is 347-857-4192. Now, we're live now on Instagram, Facebook, Anchors, Podcast, and we just want to come to you and share some things about our show tonight. My co-host for tonight's show is Coach Tony Stallworth, Coach Tremaine Edwards, Coach Lauren Smith, and the coach of the Airways, Dare E. Train Elliott. And if you want to contact us by email, you can. all you have to do is go talkingsportsplus@gmail.com. If you want to go Twitter, you can go to @talkingsportsplus with the number 1. So like I said, we want to kind of get this thing started up. This is our kickoff show. Now the title of tonight's show is Countdown to Kickoff. If you're ready for some football, it's about to get started. Before I move to that point, I want to definitely say the music that we was playing, we do not have the rights to. But we want to make sure we play that music and share some thoughts with you, because that's what it's all about. The best is yet to come. You just have to believe and trust in our Lord and Savior. So again, we want to talk about Countdown to Kickoff. And we got several topics we're going to jump on tonight. We're going to look at the dealing with the high schools. You know, our show is all about high schools in the southeastern part of the United States. Tonight, we will focus on schools in the state of Alabama. When we say the southeastern part of the United States, we're basically focusing on Tennessee, stretches over to South Carolina, from South Carolina down to South Florida, from South Florida over to Texas, and from Texas coming back over to Arkansas and back centered in that spot. So we're creating that base that we want to focus on. But this show will be broadcasted all over the world. You can hear this show through Blog Talk Radio, which is www.blogtalkradio.com/LD Smith. And we're going to share some awesome thoughts with you tonight. Our expertise is going to be talking about high school in this part, specifically in Alabama. We're going to talk about high schools in Alabama that's getting started up tomorrow night. And we're going to talk about some of the power rankings in the state of Alabama. And then next show we'll focus on Florida and Georgia, and then we'll step off into South Carolina, Tennessee, and go into Louisiana, Arkansas, as well as Mississippi, and step over to Texas. We're going to talk about all those areas. Now, if you want us to come to your area, all you got to do is give us a call, not just at 347-857-4192. That's the calling number. You can get us a call at our office number, which is 334-467-7261. Call in or email us at talkingsportsplus@gmail.com and just share your thoughts and say we'd like for you to come to our town, and we're all for that. The team is ready to go. All right, let's look at these topics we're going to talk about dealing with the countdown to kickoff. As we said, we're going to talk about high school preseason ranking. We're going to look at discussing how two schools that was just developed in the last 4 or 5 years, and less than that in Alabama, and especially in Montgomery, that now has football team. We have Valley Cross Academy, started by the Brock brothers. It's a academy for at-risk young men, and it's only a male academy. So they played their first football game last week, and they're ready to go with the rest of the season. But they're playing at a junior varsity level because they only go up to, right now, 9th grade. Because he started off with them in elementary, now he's working through middle school, and now they're in the 9th grade, so they're playing junior varsity, what you call 9th and 10th grade football. So they're moving toward high school. It's amazing because we were talking about LeBron and I Promise, the school I Promise. And Valley Cross Academy in Montgomery, Alabama is another school that was started to allow us to focus on Black Lives Matter, our young men, saving our young men in our community by putting them in a setting that's conducive to them to be successful. And that's what it's all about. We want to give them a chance for success. So we applaud the Brock brothers over at Valley Cross Academy for not only starting a school at-risk young men and now having an athletic program that's being recognized by Talking Sports Plus. And another startup academy that's going to be playing their first year of high school football, and that's Success Unlimited Academy. This is their first year, and they will be playing high school, but they will play in the Alabama Independent Athletic Association, Independent School Association, and they played their first game on the 17th. They was not fortunate to win, but they was able to be competitive. The score was 23-12, and they lost to Springwood Academy out of Lee County. So they're starting. So these academies will start out of giving young people an opportunity that may not succeed in your public school or in your private schools or in your charter school, but have a chance to actually start in these home-based schools who decided to branch out and start athletics. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the ranking. We're going to talk about Hoover High School in Birmingham. Hoover High School have won the last 6 out of 7 state championship in the largest class in Alabama, which is 7A. So they're ranked number 1 in the power ranking again for 2018. So it's amazing how they can continue to win every year. And whatever solution they have, or whatever answer they have for it, everybody like to take a little ingredients. But I know what it is. It's getting the best athletes. When you got the Jimmys and Joes, you always can be successful, especially if you have a good coaching. So we're going to look at the power ranking. We also going to look at the historical black college and university storyline. And a couple of storylines, as I mentioned at the start of this show, when I was talking about North Carolina A&T being a historical black college out of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference over there on the Atlantic Coast, consists of teams that South Carolina State, you have North Carolina A&T, North Carolina Central, you have Howard, Hampton, you have Savannah State, and you have several other schools that make up what we call the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. And they'll be participating against the Ohio Valley champion for the last 4 years, and that's Jacksonville State out of Jacksonville, Alabama. And that's Saturday on the 25th, and it's in the Guardian FCS Kickoff Classic. Starts at 6 o'clock, televised ESPN 2, I believe ESPN 2. So if you can't come, go to ESPN 2 and you can watch some historical black college and university football. The first game dealing with historical black college, one particular one in historical black college against a university that's in Alabama. So it looked to be an outstanding kickoff classic. So join us. And I will be there televising, more or less not televising so much, but broadcasting about that game and some of the high points and low points of the game. So we're excited to be and have that opportunity to go over to Crampton Bowl and be a part of that second. This is the second year for that Guardian FCS Kickoff Classic. We're also wanting to focus on the Labor Day classes that's coming up. We have the Labor Day class coming up on September the 1st. And there are 2 particular ones. There are other teams that are playing, but the ones that are being mentioned and considered to be a classic, you have at Alabama A&M University, who will be taking on Miles College in the Lewis Crew Classic. Lewis Crew Classic in Huntsville, Alabama. Kickoff time is 6 o'clock. So you can join them up there. We won't be able to make it up there this year, but we have one of our team members up there sending some broadcasts back to us, giving us some scores and kind of keep us on top of it. Then we're going to travel to the central part of the state, and we're going to watch those mighty Alabama State Hornets take on Tuskegee University in the Labor Day Classic. And I see one of my listeners on here, Kim Ramsey's son, plays with Alabama State University. And we wanted to make sure we give him the shout out. Kind of had an opportunity when I went over there for, they had autograph for all the football players, volleyball players, cross country team, and I have some people with me that had an opportunity to get his autograph. But I did mention to him that his mom was on Facebook, and I do appreciate Kim for joining us. And again, hello to you. There were several other individuals that joined us. We have, and I want to make sure I mention those individuals. You have Jimmy Harris. I appreciated my fraternity brother for joining us. We have Anthony Rudolph, one of the ball players from McKenzie, Alabama. Ant, we thank you. We call him Big Ant. He has no problem with that. But Big Ant, we thank you for joining us. We have Olivia Smith, one of the guest expert on Talking Real to You on Monday night, another one of our shows and one of our broadcasts. And Torrin Peterson, that's Cappy Peterson, another one of my ball players from down in McKenzie. Man, I really appreciate y'all taking the opportunity, but all of y'all that's joining. And also on Instagram Live, we have Stephanie T. Price. She's joining us. I waved at her and she waved back, and I appreciate you joining us, Stephanie. But we're really excited about coming to you. Now, our call-in number again is 347-857-4192. For those on Facebook, you can see it over my right shoulders, as well as you can see it over my left shoulder when you look at Instagram. But it's there, so you can see it and you can join us. Again, the web link is www.blogtalkradio.com/LD Smith Production. All right, some things that are occurring within the NCAA football 2018. That's a topic we're going to focus on. We want to look at and get your reaction to the decision that came out today in regards to Urban Meyers. You know, the committee finished investigating. The investigating committee finished with their findings, and they were submitted to the board, and the board was going to make the decision. Board of Trustees was going to make a decision in regards to that domestic violence case with Zach Smith and his ex-wife Courtney Smith. Zach Smith was a receiver coach at Ohio State. This started back in 2009. That was the first case arrest made when it came up in a domestic violence case in 2009, and he was at that time in between Florida and a couple other schools, and then which Urban Meyer coached at Florida. And then when Urban Meyer left and came to Ohio State, he came along, got him assigned as wide receiver coach in 2015, got another case of domestic violence. And in 2018, in 16, after Courtney Smith, his ex-wife, got a restraining order, he violated that. And the question was, when it was asked to Urban Meyer during the Big Ten Media Day, did he know anything about 2015 case of Zach being arrested? And Urban stated that it was being something made up. It didn't happen, but he came back on that Friday night of that same week, which was Wednesday when this happened, a Big Ten Media Day, and made a statement that he did not handle it right, and he didn't want to give out the wrong information, but they kind of crucified him. They lit him up. A lot of the talking heads and pundits say he would be fired and would no longer be the coach. But after the 14 days that was allowed, ended Sunday, allowed the committee, made of 6, to look at everything, and it's there. The report is out. Check it out and see. We're going to talk about it tonight. So join us at 347-857-4192. We also want to talk about the AP preseason ranking. Did they get it right? They have Alabama at number 1, Clemson at number 2. We have Georgia at number 3, Wisconsin at number 4, and we have Ohio State at number 5. Did they get it right? And also we're going to look at whether out of those 5 teams, will 2 of those be in the championship, or will 4 to 5 that's listed in the top 5 in this preseason poll will be in the playoff? And we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. My experts will share their thoughts, but you're an expert as well, so you can join us, as I stated earlier. Now, if you want to just text me or email me, you can email me at talkingsportsplus@gmail.com, or text me at 334-301-8775. You can text me at that number, or you want to attempt to call the office, and some people do that, 334-467-7261. So you can join us and share your thoughts on the preseason poll. Did they get it right? We're going to talk about it to see if they got it right. And the second part of that is, will Alabama and Georgia make it to the college playoff 2019? We just said some of the talking heads and pundits believe Alabama and Georgia will be there, but some other ones say they won't be. So we have to keep an eye out, because both of those schedules are pretty easy. They can work through it until the end, and if they can get through the end and play each other in the SEC championship, then automatically there's a possibility they can still wind up in the championship, or wind up in the playoff. I won't say championship, because Clemson is outstanding, and they're number 2. I'm giving them the nod to be there as well and play the championship game. Now, who they will play, hopefully my crew, my team group team members will share with you exactly who they think will be in the championship in 2019. We also want to look at college football. It is said college football sick of Nick. This is sick of Nick Saban. Are you sick of Nick Saban winning? Are you tired of Alabama being at the top, ranked number 1 3 years in a row? Has never been done since the 70s, and when Oklahoma did it. They've been ranked at the top number one for 3 consecutive years. That had never only been done one time. So we're sick of them. Is Alabama good or bad for football? We want you to talk about it. I know there's other teams out there. Clemson, there's Georgia, there's Wisconsin, Ohio State, there's Auburn, you have Penn State, you have Washington, you have other teams. But by Alabama winning, Nick Saban has won 6 national championships, 5 at the University of Alabama in the last 9 years. Is it good for football? And I want you to share your thoughts. 347-857-4192. We also want to look at some quarterback situations, but we're going to focus on particular 2 of them. And the 2 situations is starting with Shea Patterson, who transferred from Ole Miss, which is University of Mississippi, to go to Michigan. They named the starting quarterback for 2018 for Michigan. And we want to know, is that good or bad for Michigan? Will it propel them to get into the college playoff? Will it propel them just to simply win against Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan State, which is part of their division or conference in regards to the eastern part of it? It's the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference of the Big Ten. Will it propel them to get into that conversation or even be around to be talked about during the playoff? So we'll keep an eye on that. We're so excited to have an opportunity to come before you, and it's just great to have this chance. I see several people, other people's enjoying us, and I want to share this on Facebook. Those individuals enjoying us. Winston O'Neill, which is Bingo, one of my frat brothers out of Michigan. I appreciate you joining us. Reginald Fowler, that's like another one of my sons right there, played for me in middle school. Fred Fowler, Artavius Williams, another ball player that played for me in middle school. They went on and finished at Lanier and went on and played for the University of Alabama in Birmingham. We applaud him, as well as Fred played over at Huntington. So those guys carried on their career beyond that. Katrina Felder, I do appreciate you joining us. Miles Brown, another one of my ball players from McKenzie, who's now the principal of McKenzie School. Appreciate it, Miles. Then we have Cedric Fortson, and he's joining us. I appreciate one of my frat brothers. I appreciate it. Again, I do appreciate Kim Ramsey. She said hello, and it's probably that pinup that dropped down. I appreciate you saying it. I mentioned earlier about your son and the positive thing he's doing, starting safety at our Alabama State University, one of our historical black colleges and universities. Shout out. Hit me up, Kim. DM me. Your thoughts with me. I appreciate it. And I appreciate Shonda Williams liking this show, and we do appreciate you doing that, Shonda Williams. Also, we want to look at the situation at the University of Alabama. It's being talked about it, so we're not going to just get around it. We're going to talk about it again. We're going to talk about the situation, the quarterback situation, as well as some of the injury situations that occurred at linebacker, that occurred at offensive lineman with the University of Alabama. We want to talk about it, as well as that quarterback situation with Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts. How this situation is going to ball out now. How it's going to come out to be on the first week, which is next weekend. Who will start? Will both of them play? The key to it is something I'm going to keep drilling this home with everybody. It's not where you start. It's who finished the game. And that happened in the championship game. Jalen started, but in the second half, they chose to pull Jalen and put in Tua, and next thing you know, he's a hero because he threw the pass that won the national championship. You know, so it's not who starts, it's who ends the game. So we'll keep an eye on that, but we're going to talk about that. Again, that call-in number is 347-857-4192. So call in. Share your thoughts on Talking Sports Plus. We also want to look at some NFL preseason football, but we're going to focus on a rule change. Is it possible, or should the NFL change the helmet to contact rule due to 51 penalties being called as a Monday preseason game? Should they change the rule? I want you to talk. I want you to share your thoughts on it, because really, is it taking actual contact out of the game where you just cannot tackle anybody, because you can't tackle people unless your head follows the rest of your body. And if your head come close to hitting them anywhere, you're going to throw a penalty. Is that really the kind of football we want? I don't think you can teach young people at this point, because to say the rules is geared toward young people understanding it. But you got to deal with the individuals there. They're not clear, and I think a lot of the NFL players are complaining because they're not clear on it. CTE is serious. Please, concussion is serious. I had a couple of them in my day. It's very serious. But I want you to keep in mind that that's a part of the body. And if a player or running back lower his head, you have to get down where he is. So what exactly are we supposed to do if we want to play football? It's a violent game. Nobody's saying it's not. We don't want to see anything or any harm come to any child playing football, any adult playing football. But we do want to have some clarity on this rule. Not only myself and all the other talking heads and pundits, but the players want to know. The officials got to be able to be consistent. We're going to talk about that on the show tonight. And we're going to talk about it's a question that came up, and I saw a video where we had a speaker talking about are NFL players who takes a knee being disrespectful to our veterans. And I want you to share your thoughts on that. Let me know how you feel about that. Do you really think they're disrespectful to veterans? Is it all being blown out of proportion? Share your thoughts on it. We have to have it. Make sure you call in 347-857-4192. And just one thing about it, when you call in, not only you just listen to the show, but you want to share your expertise, press 1, and you can still listen to the show. Press 1, and I identify you with the last 4 digits of your cell or telephone number. Then I ask you to come on and share your thoughts. But I first want you to let us know who you are and your location. Join us. Be a part of it. This is what it's all. This is a vehicle for you to share your point of view. And we look forward to you joining us at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Call in, listen to the show. Go to the web link, www.blogtalkradio.com/LD Smith Production, and you can listen to the show. But you can also listen to it on the call-in number. But if you want to share your thoughts, which you'll have the opportunity by calling in here, just press 1. And I'll make sure I identify who you are in regards to the last 4 digits of your telephone number. Then you'll tell me who you are. You have a chance to jump in there and share your thoughts on these topics we're going to be talking about. It's exciting. We're real excited. We are excited as a team, which is Talking Sports Plus team, to come before you and share some thoughts about historical black colleges, university, high school, and middle school athletics in the southeastern part of the United States. On Instagram, we just had KJ to join us. And I'm going to wave back at you, KJ. Appreciate you for joining us. And I might just say this looks like Karen Johnson. I appreciate that. If that's you, Karen, appreciate you joining us. We're very excited about having this opportunity, but you can join us even more so at 8 o'clock. All you have to do is call in 347-857-4192 or go to the web link. Again, we're very excited by having this opportunity to just talk sports. It's all about talking sports. And we have several things going on. I'm fortunate and to be able to kind of work 2 or 3 things at one time here in the studio. You can see in the background is my studio. And on my left, over my left shoulder for Facebook, you can see it great. Instagram, you can kind of see part of it. That is a gift that was given to me many years ago, and I had several people ask about it. That's an ASU, Alabama State University Hornets football.